There is a used diesel truck for sale near you right now that looks like the deal of a lifetime. Clean body, reasonable miles, $15,000, maybe $20,000. And under the hood is a fuel pump that can grenade itself without warning, send metal shavings through the entire fuel system, and hand you a repair bill between $8,000 and $12,000. On a truck you just bought, it has a name in the diesel world. They call it the glitter maker. Because when they drop the fuel tank to clean it out, the debris sparkles. That truck is not a bad truck. It just has the wrong engine. And that is the whole problem with buying a used diesel today. The badge on the tailgate tells you almost nothing. Two trucks can look identical. Same year, same body, same price, and one will run for 400,000 miles, while the other will eat your savings in a single repair. The difference is not the brand. It is the exact engine and the exact years under that hood. So in the next few minutes, I am going to give you the real list. The specific engines that are genuinely worth your money. The ones that will quietly destroy you and exactly how they fail. And the one narrow window a handful of years across all three brands where the diesel engine hit its peak and everything built after it got more complicated, more fragile, and far more expensive to fix. If you are shopping for a diesel, this is the video I wish somebody had shown me first. Stay with me. First, understand the single thing that decides everything: emissions equipment. Around 2007 and again around 2010, the rules tightened hard on diesel trucks. To meet them, every manufacturer had to bolt on the same family of hardware: exhaust gas recirculation ego, which feeds the engine's own hot exhaust back into itself; a diesel particulate filter DPF, which traps soot and has to burn itself clean; and later an exhaust fluid system DEF that sprays a chemical into the exhaust. None of that hardware makes the engine stronger. All of it adds heat, complexity, and things that break. This is the honest reason older diesels have the reputation they do. The engines themselves were often simpler and cooler running, not because the old engineers were geniuses and the new ones are fools, but because the new ones were required to strangle a clean engine with equipment the old ones never had to carry. The rule of thumb: the further an engine sits from that emissions hardware, the longer it tends to live. Now let's go brand by brand. Start with Ford, because Ford has both the hero and the villain of this entire story. The engine you want is the 7.3-litre Power Stroke, 19 through 2003. 210 to 275 horsepower weak on paper, and that is exactly why it survives. It never made enough power to hurt itself. Forged crankshaft, 6 head bolts per cylinder. No eager, no particulate filter. Nothing to strangle it. Ford rated it for 350,000 miles before half of them would need a rebuild. Reality beat that. 400,000 is common. 500,000 is not a legend. What to check? The injectors want attention around 200,000 miles, and on the very last ones, 2001 to 2003. Some got weaker powdered metal connecting rods fine stock, a liability if someone tuned it hard. Now the one to walk away from. The 6.0-litre Power Stroke, 2003.5 through 2007. This is the engine that taught America to fear the word diesel. To meet emissions, Ford added EGRA and dropped from 6 head bolts per cylinder to 4. Those two decisions did the damage. The head bolts stretch. The gaskets blow. The eager cooler cracks and pushes coolant where coolant must never go. The oil cooler, buried in the engine's valley, clogs with sediment and starves everything downstream. The high-pressure oil pump got moved to the back of the engine, so when it fails, you are paying for the location as much as the part. Owners invented a word for the fix: bulletproofing. It means spending $3,000 to $6,000 head studs, a better eager cooler, a relocated oil cooler to repair from the outside what the factory got wrong on the inside. Here is the honest version, because I am not here to trash an engine you might already own. A properly bulletproofed 6.0 is a good truck. Many are running today, strong and reliable, but never pay good truck money for an unbulletproofed 6.0. That work is not a bonus, it is the price of admission. And the one after it, the 6.4 from 2008 to 2010, added a particulate filter on top of the Eager. It made great power. It also drank fuel, and it all but guaranteed you would never see truly high mileage. Ford's modern 6. 7 to 2011 and newer, and the first diesel Ford designed itself is genuinely good. Just know its weak point. On many years, it uses a CP4 fuel pump. Remember that name. We are coming back to it. If this is already saving you from a truck you were about to go look at, do me one favor and subscribe. This channel exists to give you the honest version, no brand loyalty, no hype. Just what actually breaks and what actually lasts. Now let's do Chevy, because GM's story is the most misunderstood of the three. The Duramax 6.6 litre in GM's HD trucks. And with GM, the year is everything, because the engine changed character every few years. The LB7, 2001 to 2004. Simple, pre-emissions, strong and famous for one thing: the injectors fail. They sit under the valve covers, so when they leak, fuel dilutes the oil, and diluted oil kills bearings. GM eventually admitted it and extended the warranty. That is how bad it was. The rule with an LB7 is simple. If it still has original injectors, you are budgeting $3,000 or more. If someone already did them with receipts, it becomes a genuinely great truck. The lie, 2004.5 to 2005. Injectors moved outside the valve covers, which was a real improvement, but it added eager and restricted airflow, and it runs hot. Overheating under load towing, long grades, summer is its signature, and blown head gaskets follow heat. Then for 2 model years only, GM built the one everybody wants, the LBZ. 2006 and 2007, stronger block, beefier connecting rods. A better fuel system, more power, and crucially, the last Duramax before the particulate filter arrived. It is widely considered the best Duramax ever built, and one of the most reliable diesel V8s of any kind. There is a documented LB truck with 1.2 million miles on it. Its one real weakness: the cast aluminum pistons crack if you push far past 600 horsepower. Leave it alone, and it will outlive you. The market knows all this. LB's trucks are priced accordingly, and they are still worth it. After that, 2007.5 brings the LMME and the particulate filter. And then, 2011 to 2016, the LML, which is where our glitter maker from the opening lives. GM switched to a Bosch CP4 injection pump to hit higher fuel pressure for emissions. The CP4 is sensitive to fuel with low lubricity, and when it fails, it does not fail quietly. It destroys itself and sends metal through the injectors, the rails, the lines, and the tank. The repair is a whole new fuel system. $8,000 to $12,000 is normal. There is a real fix. People convert them back to the older, tougher CP3 pump. So an LML with a documented CP3 conversion is a fine truck. An LML with the original CP4 still in it is a bet, and you are the one covering it. The modern L5P, 2017 and up, largely solved this. GM finally gave it a factory lift pump and a better fuel system. It is the strongest of the modern ones. Which brings us to Ram. And the engine with the deepest reputation of all, the Cummins Inline 6. And here is why it earns that reputation. It is not really a truck engine at all. The Cummins B-Series was designed as an industrial and agricultural engine for tractors, for machinery, for equipment that works at full load all day. An inline 6 is inherently smoother and better balanced than a V8, and it was built with a duty cycle no pickup would ever demand. The one they call sacred is the 9-litre, and specifically the 12-valve 1994 to 1998. Fully mechanical injection, no computer deciding whether it runs. It is the last diesel in an American pickup that needs essentially nothing electronic to keep running. And the second sweet spot, the 5.9 Common Rail 2003 to 2007, modern enough to drive comfortably, old enough to be pre-particulate filter, and enormously strong. If I had to name the two best used diesels in America, it would be a clean LBZ Duramax and a 5.9 Cummins from that window. The honest catches, because every engine has them. The Cummins block is famously tough, but the trucks around it were not always. Front-end components and transmissions are the weak links, not the engine. And the 7 Cummins 2007.5 onward carries the full emissions stack, EGAR, particulate filter, and later DEF. It makes serious power and it can be perfectly reliable, but soot and clogging are its themes, and short trip driving is its enemy. Some years also use that same CP4 pump. Check, so what is this engine from the title? The honest answer is that it is not one engine. It is one window. Roughly 2003 to 2007, after the early bugs were fixed, before the emissions hardware landed. In that window, all three companies were building the best diesels they had ever made, with the fewest things to break. The 5.9 Cummins Common Rail, the LB's Duramax, and just outside it, the 7.3 Power Stroke, which was never in the game at all, because it was already gone by then and is still running. And the last thing, which matters more than any engine on this list. The most expensive thing in a used diesel is not the engine, it is the maintenance it did not get. Most diesel horror stories are not really about a bad design. They are about short trips that never let the emissions system clean itself, skipped oil changes on an engine that fires its injectors with oil, and warning signs ignored until a $200 part became a $12,000 repair. A well-maintained 6.0 with records will outlive a neglected LBiz. Every time. So buy the paperwork as hard as you buy the engine. If you are standing on a lot this weekend, find out the exact engine code, not the badge. Ask whether the known repair for that engine has already been done, the LB7's injectors, the 6.0's bulletproofing, the LML's CP3 conversion, and ask to see the receipt. If it has been done, the price should reflect that it is worth more. If it has not, the price should reflect that you are about to pay for it. There are no bad diesel brands, there are only wrong years and unpaid bills. Which one are you running, and what is on the odometer? Put it in the comments. The ones with the miles are the ones people trust. I read them, and if you want the honest history of these engines and the ones nobody warns you about, subscribe. That is what this channel is for.